Women occupy only 22% of technology-related jobs in Nigeria, with majority of leadership and technical roles dominated by men. That's according to a report by the International Finance Corporation. Big players in the tech sector at this event want to bridge that gap by empowering women with the necessary skills. But first, the question arises: what are the challenges women face that limit their involvement in the tech space?
I would say the first challenge is, first of all, self-doubt. So I see a lot of women, they have self-doubt, like they're not confident, they don't think that, they belong in a room or they can attain a certain level of, leadership, right? So I think first of all, as women, we need to know that we belong there, we have a right to be there, we have a right to be in that role. We are very intentional about creating an inclusive workspace in international bureaus, right? So, that's why we organize events like Beakathon, which was, targeted at women.
Bode Abifarin, founder and CEO of Strata, echoes this view and offers more insight into support structures and platforms for women in tech.
One of the things that women face is this bias in terms of, am I good enough, right? Do I have the right skills? Do I know enough, right? One thing I would just say is step out of that. Everything you've learned, everything you know has prepared you for the role that you are. And then you now start identifying the things that you need to do to move from one level to the other. That's the most important thing.
Folake Owoduni, CEO of Emergency Response Africa, a healthcare technology company that saves lives by connecting anyone experiencing a medical emergency, shares how public-private partnerships have helped her scale production and improve her business. She believes with the right sensitization, more female founders can also benefit from such processes.
We've been quite privileged to partner with a few state governments. Edo State was our first major partnership. Recently, we also launched a partnership with Ogun State, and we've also worked alongside Rivers State. I'll highlight the Ogun State one because in Ogun State, what we're doing is providing emergency transport for pregnant women. And that's really powerful because when you think about pregnancy, I've had 2 pregnancies, and I know the experience of just trying to go and have your baby. You don't want transportation to be a barrier to accessing care. So it's really been great to be able to implement that scheme for rural women, making sure that they can get access to care when they need it. And I think as a country, Nigeria can certainly do a lot more to create pathways for such public-private partnership.
In 2023, female founders received less than 10% of total venture capital funding in the tech industry, a significantly lower allocation than their male counterparts. There are suggestions from here on how that can be effectively addressed.
I do know that in the venture capitalist ecosystem that there are many female-focused venture capital funds. Such funds like Rising Tide Africa, I belong to one of those funds, also is looking to ensure that it's a fully female-focused fund, by the way, and it has a lot of mentoring and education tracks in there. We take on a lot of female founders, female entrepreneurs, train them on pitching, deck, presentation, financial projections as well, building a business case as well. So there's a lot of that goes into, that's what venture capitalists look for, basically. Sometimes you get a better chance if you attach yourself with a female-focused venture capital fund. For us in Africa, it's been a cultural shift, right? The women were not typically engineers. They were not typically in that career path. But there's been a lot of awareness in STEAM, STREAM, and STEM career paths. And just today, we were speaking about encouraging more women in software technology sales. It's a huge area that has a gap, and you can make a lot of money being in technology sales, quite frankly. Another area is around training, being an educator in tech. You don't have to be an engineer, a software engineer, or a developer, or a coder. You don't have to have very strong technical skill sets. But because educating and nurturing and training comes very naturally to women, a lot of us are nurturers, a lot of us are trainers, teachers. You can do that in tech as well.
An African proverb says, you educate a man and you educate an individual, but if you educate a woman, you are educating a whole nation. And this has since motivated people around the world to strive for education for all. And these initiatives by the public sector, private sector, and NGOs like this will continue to empower women and set the stage for their future. Lillian Jijingi-Agudah, Arise News.